What is up, my wizards? It is Kai the Alchemist, and I am here showing you guys my Scareclaw adventure deck profile. It is 41 cards. You guys know how it goes, main, extra, side. I have some weird ratios in here, but I'm going to explain them all as I go. The weird ratio is mainly in the adventure package, but it cooks. So for the Scareclaws, 3 Rykart, 3 Acro, 3 Astra, 2 Balone, along with triple Fenrir, 2 Scarecash, 1 Visa Starfrost, 2 of the field spell, Reichphobia, 1 Arrival, or 2 Arrival, and 1 Defanging. I wanted to originally just have the 2 Arrival, but I decided for Defanging to protect my tryhard from targeting, so it is like more of a bigger threat than just people making SP and outing it almost immediately. Everything else is pretty standard. 2 Balone is the only thing here that's like really different, and that's just because since this is more of a going first deck, I didn't think that piercing was really something we need, and also we have Rhoda in here to search a name, so we aren't really losing consistency. And also, sometimes you brick on too many of the names, so more consistency overall is what we were going for with this. For the adventure stuff, 3 of Water Enchantress, 1 Griffin, 1 Right, 1 Fateful, 1 Dracoback, 1 Foolish. Foolish gets you to your Water Enchantress because you can banish yourself from the grave to search. Dracoback and Fateful at 1 are standard. 1 Right is a bit different though. I play it because Water Enchantress can banish to add back Right from grave instead of adding from deck. Although you can still get ashed, it allows you to play around Droll if either you hard open it or they didn't have Droll on the first rotation of Right to add it from your deck, which I think makes this at 1 really strong, and it makes it so that even if you open multiple or add different copies of Water Enchantress later on, they aren't technically dead cards because they can add Right back from your grave. So the only time they're actually dead is when they find a way to banish your Right from your grave, which is almost always DD Crow. But the thing is, most people aren't going to be thinking you're running 1 copy of Right in your deck, and they're just going to think you can search it from your deck. So most people are going to completely ignore banishing a single Right in your graveyard, which I think is really nice. Then for hand traps and non-engine, we have triple Ash, 2 Veiler, 3 Imperm, 2 Tactics, and 1 Rhoda. And that's the entire 41 card main deck. Rhoda is just another copy of Rykart. That's the only thing it can search in the deck. I felt like Tactics is just something that you have to have in your main deck with this build, because just being able to go full combo and then rip a card out of your opponent's hand or draw 2 is really nice. Also, in the grind game, having this and being able to take is also something that's really nice. Imperm and Ash are a must, but 2 Veiler, I have it in here because it's like probably my most low impact hand trap out of everything I have in here. Because unlike all the others, Veiler can only be used during my opponent's main phase, which means I can tech it out by having it at 2 and switch it out for other things. For example, Ghost Mourners for time, which I play in here, and also 2 copies of Nib that I have in here. So I think having it at 2 is pretty solid. For the extra, I play 3 copies of Lightheart and 2 copies of Tryheart. I thought about having 3, but with the rest of the like engine that I have in here and like other cards, I had to cut down on Tryhard because you're never really making the 3rd. It's just kind of one of those cards that's like, oh, okay, it's nice to have just in case, but you're never going to ever make the 3rd. Most times, the game's going to be over by the time you make the 2nd, worst case scenario gets like unless you're just like playing really bad, that's like the one thing. But most times you're never going to be making three in a whole game. One Baron, one Astrolaud. Baron and Astrolaud are just like they're essential pieces of your combos. Going second, they are really good for popping and having negates up. Baron's almost always going to be a part of your end board, but Astrolaud allows you to climb up. Uh, these are the cards that also for the rest of these are mainly just cards that you can use to play through hand traps. This allows you to play through Nib to still make Tryhard because it's an effect monster and you can link it off with the Link Spider. You can link off your the Nib token they give you with the Link Spider. Cross Sheep, you can climb up with it, summon Astrolaud to a zone, bring back a level 4 monster, and use it, Cross Sheep, or use Cross Sheep, Astrolaud, and the card you bring back for Tryhard. This is mainly to take opponent's Earth monsters. It's you can do it against Centurion, but also it allows you to take your opponent's Fenrir's, so that's something that comes up. This allows you to take your opponent's Darks, whether that be Little Knights. You can also take other strong Dark monsters. And this is the more flex IP. This is the more flex stuff, but IP, Cerberus, Unicorn, and then a Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. So the IP, you can keep it in here if you want to have something, but these other three are flexible. Some good cards you can put in here is you can drop some of these and put in a Zeus package, which would be either Phantom Knight Breaksword or Fortune Tune with the Downward and Zeus if you want that. You can also put in Underworld Goddess or Appaloosa in here if you want to have more negates. But I go with this because with IP, if you're going up against like monsters that don't have effects on summon, so like Rescue Ace, you can IP make, if like you already have your full combo, you can IP make Cerberus. Cerberus will be summoned to like the bottom zone of Tryhard, and then you get to discard, pop, and then draw because they're co-linked, which is something that's really nice. If it's like spell traps or anything that's like going to be a problem if it stays on the board, you can do the same thing, because with what's I love about these is that since IP is already a link to, you can always just use IP and one other monster to either make Cerberus or Unicorn. So you can Unicorn spin it. You don't get the draw unless like somehow you have a Light Heart in one of the side zones, which is kind of weird. I don't know why you would have that because you wouldn't get anything out of it. And then this is just a time card because at least in my locals, I know my games tend to go into time because I have a lot of grindy matches. So having something that you can reliably count on going into time by using it with Fenrir's or your Scareclaw or both sometimes comes up. I know it could have helped me during my game against what was it, the Fire King, because it was like Fire King is surprisingly grindy if you don't have enough hand traps to just out them immediately, or like stuff that just outs them immediately. So this does come in handy whenever your opponent activates a card or effect. They get burned for 500 immediately after the card resolves, which, granted, the wording on it means that if your opponent has something like just a card that can out it, you don't get the burn. But when your opponent's just going through their linear combo, like say for instance you're going up against Flu, they Rabina effect, they search, they burn 500, make Eaglin burn 500, Eaglin add M-Pen summon, M-Pen 1, and then Eaglin 2, that's another 1,000. You get the idea. Going through a standard combo with this on board, your opponent 9 times out of 10 is going to burn at least 2,000 life before they can reliably out this big beefy boy. Also, it cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has material, so they have to like, most times they're going to SP it, but they're going to need to burn some life to get to that SP, which is the main point. And you can reliably make this card if you just open Fenrir, because you can just Fenrir for Scarecash and then summon Scarecash, which is super nice. For the side deck, I do want to add every side deck is different, but this is the side deck that helps me at my locals. 3 Droll, 2 Ghost Mourner, 2 Nib. Nib and Ghost Mourner are the cards that I normally switch in and out with Veilers. Nib, if the targeting negation, if like imperm's enough, or just like maybe, who knows, imperm might not do anything against the deck, so you can switch imperms for Drolls, or Drolls for imperms, I mean, or whatever. And this is just a card that I use in time. It helped out against Fire Kings. They summon Garunix. I use Moonlit Chill to negate it, and they couldn't like get rid of it, or else they would have got burned for 27, which is super nice because there was only 30 seconds left on the clock. And that helped me secure the game, which is kind of nice. And then, Droll is Droll. It just helps against those niche decks. This would have helped me a lot if I opened it against Altergeist, but that didn't happen. And then 2 Lightning Storm, 2 Cosmic, and 1 Duster for the spells. These are just like mainly just spell trap hate, but these 3 right here are mainly for going second. I play these 2, however, for going first when you're going up against something like Altergeist, or you're going up, or like even going second sometimes. Just having something that can quick effect remove a spell, so it can out floodgates. Or also against Centurion, you can Cosmic the stuff that they have in the spell Trap Zone, which is really cool. So that's something that I would just have, can't go wrong with it. And then obviously 3 Evenly Match, because it's evenly matched, and it's evenly matched, man. So that's the entire list. If you guys want to see some test hands with this, because when I brought this and voiced this this list for the adventure stuff mainly, people were like, why would you do that when you could just have more rights? And don't get me wrong, having more rights just adds more inherent consistency to getting to your adventure engine. But I feel like with this deck, it's really grindy in a lot of games. And granted, you are relying on hard opening, either rights, your Water Enchantress, or your Foolish. But let's be honest here, every deck's kind of relying on that. You don't really have a way to search your Water Enchantress. Everything here, it's, yeah, that's all I can say about it. It's just how it is. I feel like it works. You're dropping consistency for more grind potential and being able to dodge Droll later in the game, at least for your adventure engine. Sometimes it works, and sometimes people don't have Droll at all. But I like it. So that's the list. If you guys would like to see test hands and stuff, I would love to show them and record them if I get a better camera. But yeah, that's the list. I'm probably going to post this whenever I get around to it. You guys won't probably see this until like 2 days later if I have the motivation. Yeah, bye.